Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Naresh Mago, and with me is VC Pramod with the Midday News. The headlines. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says new emerging technologies pose a serious challenge for the security architecture. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts with people of country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Union Commerce and Food Minister Piyush Goyal asks business community to allocate at least 5% of their budget for one product, one district. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone of a military transport aircraft manufacturing project at Vadodara tomorrow. Northeast monsoon likely to hit southeast peninsular part of the country from today. IMD predicts heavy rains in Tamil Nadu. An Indian pair of Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty advanced to men's doubles semi-finals of French Open badminton tournament. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said today that the threat of terrorism is growing and expanding in Asia and Africa. He said new emerging technologies have posed a serious challenge before the security architecture. Dr. Jaishankar was speaking at the plenary session of United Nations Security Council Special Meeting of Counter-Terrorism Committee on countering the use of new and emerging technologies for terrorist purposes in New Delhi. Dr. Jaishankar reaffirmed India's commitment to strengthening the international efforts to combat terrorism, including combating the use of new and emerging technologies. The minister said, terrorism remains one of the gravest threats to humanity. He said new emerging technologies like virtual private networks, encrypted messaging services, and virtual currencies have thrown up new challenges for the governments and regulatory bodies due to their vulnerability for misuse by non-state actors.
In recent years, terrorist groups, their ideological fellow travelers, and lone wolf attackers have significantly enhanced their capabilities by gaining access to these technologies. They use technology and money, and most importantly, the ethos of open societies to attack freedom, tolerance, and progress. Internet and social media platforms have turned into potent instruments in the toolkit of terrorists and militant groups for spreading propaganda, radicalization, and conspiracy theories aimed at destabilizing societies.
He also highlighted the dangers posed by the use of unmanned aerial systems by terrorist groups and organized criminal networks.
These terrorist groups have been using unmanned aerial platforms such as drones and quadcopters for cross-border trafficking of drugs and arms and for carrying out terrorist attacks. And such risks are not limited to India. In Africa, drones have been used by terrorist groups to monitor movements of security forces and even of UN peacekeepers, making them vulnerable to terrorist attacks. A few months ago, terrorists launched cross-border drone attacks on the UAE and Saudi Arabia, targeting civilians and civilian infrastructure, which led to loss of lives and injuries, including to Indian nationals there. India has strongly condemned these cross-border drone attacks both in UAE and Saudi Arabia.
Dr. Jaishankar said counter-terrorism has become one of the top priorities during the country's present tenure in United Nations Security Council.
The Council is holding this special meeting of its Counter-Terrorism Committee in India is also a product of the fact that counter-terrorism has become one of the top priorities during our ongoing tenure in the Security Council. Terrorism remains one of the gravest threats to humanity. The UN Security Council in the past 2 decades has evolved an important architecture built primarily around the counter-terrorism sanctions regime to combat this menace. This has been very effective in putting those countries on notice that had turned terrorism into a state-funded enterprise.
Speaking at the inaugural session in Mumbai yesterday, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken had said the perpetrators of the 2008 carnage must be brought to justice.
We have a responsibility to the victims and to people everywhere to bring justice to the perpetrators of the Mumbai attacks, including their masterminds. Because when we allow the architects of these attacks to go unpunished, we send a message to terrorists everywhere that their heinous crimes will be tolerated. Many members of the Security Council, including the United States, have adopted our own sanctions against the terrorists behind these attacks. But our accountability efforts are more effective when we act together, which is why we've worked with India to put forward nominations to designate several terrorists through the UN 1267 committee. All relevant parties should support these designations. No nation should stand in their way.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today met Gabon Foreign Minister Michael Moussa Adamo on the sidelines of the UNSC special meeting in New Delhi. In a tweet, Dr. Jaishankar said he is encouraged by the growing Indian economic presence in Gabon. Both ministers committed themselves to expanding bilateral cooperation, including the development partnership. The External Affairs Minister said they will work closely together in the UN, Commonwealth and other multilateral forums. Dr. S. Jaishankar also met his Ghana counterpart Shirley A. Botchway in New Delhi today and thanked her for active participation in the UNSC special meeting. In a tweet, he said, India and Ghana's historical solidarity guides the common efforts to work for the people. He stated that Ghana's One Village, One Dam and India's Amrit Sarovar initiatives are an apt example of this. Both ministers discussed cooperation in counter-terrorism, defense and development partnership focused on digital, health, green and food and water.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people of the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. It will be the 94th episode of the monthly radio program. The program will be broadcast on the entire network of All India Radio and Doordarshan, AIR News website and News on AIR mobile app. It will also be live streamed on the YouTube channels of AIR News, DD News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. Union Commerce and Food Minister Piyush Goyal urged business community to be partners in making the country a developed nation by 2047 as Panch Pran proposed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Emphasizing on the collective duty in this direction, the minister asked them to nurture product marketing and support each other to ensure Make in India program is a success. Interacting with members of the Federation of Telangana Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FTCCI, in Hyderabad last evening, the minister asked them to allocate at least 5% of their budget for one district, one product to help people in remote areas to get transformational results towards self-reliant India. The Commerce Minister emphasized on the need to enhance quality to tap the international opportunities and asked them to make standards in quality control a part of work culture. Referring to quality controls for jewellery sector, which were formed about 20 years ago, the minister said, however, they were not implemented. Following the government's efforts during the past 2 years, he said now over 250 districts in the country have hallmarking centres and 90% jewellery is hallmarked. Referring to exports, the minister said the exports this year are likely to touch $750 billion as against $675 billion last year. Mr. Goyal asked the cotton industry stakeholders to discuss a strategy to ensure traceability of cotton, get better value of cotton products and brandize Indian cotton. He said blockchain technology for enhancing traceability of cotton from farm to foreign is under consideration and it will be tried on small scale initially and later expanded. The minister made it clear that there will not be any change in policy relating to exports of rice for now. He said the government will have to keep the national food security in view and the country needs over 100 million tons of food grains every year to support 80 crore poor people. The minister said under the Prime Minister Garib Kalyan Yojana, every individual is being given 10 kilograms of rice or wheat per month.
Minister of State for Science and Technology Dr. Jitendra Singh has said that India will become a digital health leader with the best technical manpower and cheapest data in the world. Addressing the first Global Digital Health Summit, Expo and Innovation Awards, Dr. Singh said the recent launch of 5G will bring a new revolution in the digital healthcare system in India. Dr. Singh said that the whole world recognized India's leadership role during the COVID-19 pandemic. He said we achieved the rare feat of delivering over 220 crore vaccines through a fully digital platform, CoWIN, and the process continues. Dr. Singh further said that India notified the telemedicine practice guidelines in March 2020, the beginning of COVID-19. He said we did the same for Ayush in April 2020. India was able to notify these guidelines as our groundwork was done and we were ready. We should work together to ensure digital health for all, which is a precondition to achieving health for all, he said. Dr. Singh said that technology will be used prudently to reduce the challenges in treatment. COVID-19 has pushed for worldwide adoption of technology in health on a large scale. Grievance appellate committees will be set up within 3 months by the government for resolving social media users' grievances. In this regard, a Gazette notification was issued by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology yesterday to amend the Information Technology Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code Rules 2021. More from our correspondent.
According to the notification, each grievance appellate committee will consist of a chairperson and 2 whole-time members appointed by the central government. The notification states that any person aggrieved by a decision of the grievance officer may prefer an appeal to the grievance appellate committee within a period of 30 days from the date of receipt of communication from the grievance officer. The notification also states that the grievance appellate committee will adopt an online dispute resolution mechanism. Bhupender Singh, AIR News, New Delhi.
Terming this as a step towards empowering the users, Electronics and Information Technology Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw said the focus is on protection of online users. He said grievance appellate committees have been introduced for hearing appeals against the decisions of grievance officers appointed by the intermediaries. He said privacy policy and user agreements of intermediaries are to be made available in the 8 scheduled Indian languages.
In Uttar Pradesh, former Minister and Samajwadi Party MLA Azam Khan has been disqualified from Assembly membership after conviction in a hate speech case. The Assembly Secretariat has declared his Rampur Assembly seat vacant. The MP-MLA court had on Thursday sentenced Azam Khan to 3 years imprisonment in the hate speech case. A case was registered against him for making inflammatory speech in the run-up to the Lok Sabha elections 2019. The Delhi government has revised fares for auto rickshaws and taxis in the national capital. 5 rupees has been increased for auto rickshaw for the initial 1.5 kilometer. The revised fare will be 30 rupees. After 1.5 kilometers, the per kilometer fare would be 11 rupees, which was 9 rupees and 50 paise earlier. As per the order, 15 rupees has been increased in taxi fare for both AC and non-AC for the initial 1.5 kilometers. The revised fare will be 40 rupees. After 1.5 kilometers, the per kilometer fare would be 17 rupees for non-AC and 20 rupees for AC taxi, which was 14 and 16 rupees earlier. The government also increased the extra luggage charge to 2 rupees 50 paise for auto rickshaw and 5 rupees for taxi. The night charges will be the same as earlier.
The Election Commission will host a 2-day international conference beginning the 31st of October in New Delhi on the theme Role, Framework and Capacity of Election Management Bodies. The conference will be inaugurated by Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar. The concluding session will be chaired by Election Commissioner Anup Chandra Pandey. ECI leads the cohort on election integrity, which was established as a follow-on to the Summit for Democracy held in December last year. Nearly 50 participants from election management bodies from 11 countries are expected to join the event. These include Armenia, Mauritius, Nepal, Cabo Verde, Australia, Chile, federal states of Micronesia, Greece, Philippines, Sao Tome and Principe, and the US. Many more countries will be represented by their missions in New Delhi.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says new emerging technologies pose a serious challenge for the security architecture. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts with people of country and abroad in the Man Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Union Commerce and Food Minister Piyush Goyal asks business community to allocate at least 5% of their budget for one district, one product. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone of a military transport aircraft manufacturing project at Vadodara tomorrow. Northeast monsoon likely to hit southeast peninsular part of the country from today. IMD predicts heavy rains in Tamil Nadu. And Indian pair of Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty advance to men's doubles semi-finals of French Open badminton tournament. For quick news updates on the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
दिल्ली में AIR FM गोल्ड आ रहा है नए सुर, ताल और लय के साथ। हर घंटे समाचार, नए रोचक कार्यक्रम और समसामयिक विषयों पर चर्चा।
आज की ताजा खबर
1 नवंबर से एक बार फिर आप, हम और 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर वही आपका मनपसंद रेडियो चैनल AIR FM गोल्ड करा सोना।
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी, तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर, या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर, और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास, हमारा प्रयास।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay the foundation stone of a C-295NW transport aircraft manufacturing project for the Indian Air Force at Vadodara in Gujarat tomorrow. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Minister of Civil Aviation Jyotiraditya Scindia, and Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Bhai Patel and other dignitaries will attend the function. This is the first project of its kind in which a military aircraft will be manufactured in India by a private company. The aircraft can be used for civilian purposes also. This state-of-the-art transport aircraft, having 5 to 10 ton capacity, will strengthen the logistic capabilities of the Indian Air Force. The aircraft will replace the aging Avro aircraft of the IAF. According to the Defence Secretary Dr. Ajay Kumar, 16 aircraft will be delivered in flyaway condition and 40 will be manufactured in India by the Indian aircraft contractor Tata Consortium of Tata Advanced Systems Limited and Tata Consultancy Services. In September 2021, Cabinet Committee on Security had approved the procurement of 56 C-295MW transport aircraft from Airbus Defence and Space SA. The first 16 flyaway aircraft are scheduled to be received between September 2023 and August 2025. The first made-in-India aircraft is expected from September 2026. The total cost of the project will be 21,935 crore rupees. All 56 transport aircraft will be fitted with indigenous electronic warfare suites. The transport aircraft manufacturing facility will generate several skilled and indirect jobs. It is estimated that 600 highly skilled jobs and more than 3,000 indirect jobs will be generated. Our correspondent reports that the transport aircraft manufacturing project will prove to be another milestone in the country's efforts towards self-reliance in the aviation sector. This transport aircraft manufacturing project will create an entire new ecosystem for the aviation sector and enhance the country's overall position in transport aircraft manufacturing by promoting the Make in India initiative. BJP leader and Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur has said that the double-engine government has taken all necessary steps for all-round development of Himachal Pradesh, and it is necessary for the BJP government to come to power again to carry forward the pace of development. Addressing a press conference in Shimla, he said that the power of the double-engine government is visible in every sector. Mr. Thakur said that lakhs of people in the state have been benefited by the Ayushman Bharat scheme of the centre and HimCare scheme being run by the state government. He also mentioned about the various public welfare schemes being successfully run by the central and state governments in the state. The union minister claimed that the BJP is the force behind the pace of development, and on the basis of development work in the state, the BJP will definitely succeed in the mission repeat. Our correspondent reports that both the BJP and Congress are engaged in persuading their leaders dissatisfied over ticket distribution. Independent candidates who filed their nominations are also being persuaded to withdraw their nominations to ensure victory of the party candidates. Today is the last day of withdrawal of nomination papers for the assembly polls in the state. Voting will be held on November 12, while the counting of votes will take place on December 8.
Himachal State Congress President and MP Pratibha Singh has said that the party candidates who were withdrawn their nominations today on her request will be given full respect in the organization. She asked the party office bearers and workers, including all those party leaders who have left the election fray, to work in solidarity with the party's authorized candidates in these elections. Himachal State President of Aam Aadmi Party, Surjit Thakur, claimed that the employees of Himachal Pradesh have full faith in the guarantee of implementation of Old Pension Scheme (OPS) of Aam Aadmi Party. He further said that lakhs of employees of the state are fighting the OPS, alleging that the double-engine government of BJP, instead of giving rights to the employees, is harassing them. He said, like Punjab government, old pension scheme will be implemented immediately after the AAP government is formed in Himachal Pradesh. The Election Commission of India has issued a notice to TRS leader and Telangana Energy Minister G. Jagadish Reddy for allegedly threatening voters that welfare schemes will be stopped if they did not vote for the TRS candidate in the upcoming Munugode bypoll. The notice was issued following a complaint lodged by BJP leader K. Dilip Kumar. The ECI has given the minister time till 3 p.m. today to explain his stand. Otherwise, it will take a decision without a reference to him. The ECI prima facie felt that by making such a statement, the minister has violated provisions of Model Code of Conduct. In Ayodhya, Uttar Pradesh, the duration of the darshan of the Ram Lalla Virajman has been increased, taking cognizance of the large number of devotees. More from our correspondent.
Ayodhya is witnessing a large number of devotees after the celebration of Grand Deepotsav on the eve of Deepavali this year. According to an estimate, over 2 lakh people have visited the city in the last 5 days. Also, around 3 lakh people had visited Ayodhya on the day of Deepotsav, in which Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the grand celebration of lighting over 15 lakh diyas on the banks of the river Saryu. Shri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust has now revised the timing of darshan of Ram Lalla Virajman to facilitate devotees. The duration of the morning darshan has been increased by half an hour and evening darshan by 1 hour. Devotees will now have darshan of the Ram Lalla Virajman from 7 to 11 in the morning and 2 to 7 in the evening. Aditya Shukla, AIR News, Gorakhpur.
India's vaccination coverage has exceeded 219 crore 62 lakh till now. Over 4 crore 12 lakh first dose vaccines have been administered in the age group of 12 to 14 years. India's active caseload currently stands at 18,802. A total of 1,574 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The recovery rate currently stands at 98.77%. 2,161 patients recovered in the last 24 hours. The Pentagon on Friday said that the United States will provide a new $275 million military assistance package for Ukraine to help it battle Russia's conflict. The package includes ammunition for HIMARS precision rocket launchers, various types of 155 mm artillery rounds, anti-armor systems, small arms ammunition, and for satellite communications antennas. The latest aid package brings Washington's total security assistance commitments for Ukraine to more than $18.5 billion since early 2021 and nearly $18 billion since Russia invaded in February.
U.S. President Joe Biden will attend next month's COP27 United Nations Climate Summit in Egypt. The conference will be held in the Red Sea resort town of Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. The White House said in a statement on Friday that President Biden will advance the global climate fight and help the most vulnerable build resilience to climate impacts, and he will highlight the need for the world to act in this decisive decade. They said Mr. Biden has also no plans to meet with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman at the G20 with U.S.-Saudi relations under new strain over Riyadh's recent support for oil production cuts. Biden will be at the summit on November 11th before heading to Cambodia for the annual U.S.-ASEAN summit and then on to Indonesia for the G20 summit. The White House said Mr. Biden will work with G20 partners to address key challenges such as climate change, the global impact of Russian President Vladimir Putin's war on Ukraine, including on energy and food security and affordability, and a range of other products. COP26 last year ended with a pledge to keep global warming at 1.5 degrees Celsius over pre-industrial levels, a goal the world is set to miss on current emission trends. In the U.S., House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, was attacked using a hammer at his California home yesterday morning and has undergone surgery for a skull fracture and other severe injuries. Drew Hamill, spokesperson for Speaker Nancy Pelosi, said in a statement that Mr. Pelosi was admitted to Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital, where he underwent successful surgery to repair a skull fracture and serious injuries to his right arm and hands. Paul Pelosi was attacked with a hammer in their home in San Francisco, California. The attacker was a male assailant who also tried to tie up Pelosi's husband as he was waiting for Nancy to arrive home.
In T20 World Cup, the men in blue look forward to continuing their winning streak in Australia. The visitors take on South Africa in a crucial match tomorrow in Perth. At the ongoing T20 World Cup series in Australia, the team spirit is high after 2 consecutive wins in the tournament. The batting lineup looks solid with Virat Kohli, Hardik Pandya and others in sublime form. The bowling attack has been quite effective, with the pacers as well as the spinners striking at crucial moments of the match. The Rohit Sharma-led team earlier put up a splendid performance to outlast arch-rivals Pakistan in the opening match, while the Netherlands were defeated fair and square in the next game. However, the South Africa challenge cannot be underestimated. Meanwhile, the New Zealand-Sri Lanka match is underway at Sydney Cricket Ground in Australia. Earlier, New Zealand won the toss and opted to bat first. Theekshana and Silva scalped a wicket in their first over at the event. New Zealand were 54 runs for 3 wickets in 10 overs when reports last came in. In French Open, India's top doubles pair of Chirag Shetty and Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy defeated 2021 world champions Takuro Hoki and Yugo Kobayashi of Japan in the men's doubles quarterfinals 23-21, 21-18 in 49 minutes yesterday. It was Chirag Shetty and Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy's third win against the Japanese pair in 4 meetings. This is the only Indian challenge left in the competition.
Northeast monsoon is likely to hit southeast peninsular India from today. India Met Department has predicted heavy rain in Tamil Nadu. Isolated heavy showers have also been predicted in Puducherry, Kerala and parts of Andhra Pradesh over the coming few days. Light to moderate rainfall is also expected in Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Gilgit, Baltistan, Muzaffarabad and Himachal Pradesh on Monday and Tuesday due to a fresh western disturbance. Dry weather is very likely to prevail over the remaining parts of the country during the next 5 days.
Now let's have a look at the weather across the country today. National capital Delhi will have a mainly clear sky with mist in the morning. The temperature will hover between a minimum of 15 degrees and a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius. Mumbai is likely to have a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 23 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 34 degrees. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was 23 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 31 degrees. Chennai is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The minimum temperature was 24 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 34 degrees. Jammu and Muzaffarabad will have a mainly clear sky. In Jammu, the minimum temperature was 15 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 30 degrees, while in Muzaffarabad, temperature will hover between 12 and 28 degrees Celsius. Srinagar will have a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 3 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 21 degrees. Leh will also have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will vary between -3 and 11 degrees. Gilgit will have a partly cloudy sky. Hyderabad will have a partly cloudy sky with haze. Bengaluru will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Thiruvananthapuram will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Imphal and Shillong will have fog and mist in the morning and partly cloudy sky later, while Guwahati and Agartala both had fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. Gangtok will have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. And before we end, the headlines once again. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says new emerging technologies pose a serious challenge for the security architecture. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts with people of country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Union Commerce and Food Minister Piyush Goyal asks business community to allocate at least 5% of their budget for one product, one district. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone of a military transport aircraft manufacturing project at Vadodara tomorrow. Northeast monsoon likely to hit southeast peninsular part of the country from today. IMD predicts heavy rain in Tamil Nadu. And Indian pair of Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty advanced to men's doubles semi-finals of French Open badminton tournament. And with that, we end the midday news.